Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are tonight's entertainment.
I wanted to wait a few days before making this video. A particular number of reasons. Some of them were out of my control and some were. For one, I wanted to wait to give people a little bit more time to actually see the film before I actually made this video, and to see if I can get their interpretations on what they thought about the movie and how they felt about it. The other one was out of my control. I just couldn't get my audio to behave or act right before I actually recorded the video. But I mean, it was all for a good thing, because I did realize when listening to it back, I was a little bit more negative than I like to be. I was allowing some of the comments and videos I was watching to kind of enter my domain space, and normally not like that. So get back on the subject, me and the fam went on opening night, and I can't even remember the last time I actually went to a movie on opening night, or one that I was excited for to even attempt to do that. But with that being said, we loved it. Me and my family loved it. Everybody that I've heard from as far as in my friend group that have seen it loved it. So I'm just really not understanding all the negativity towards this film. It's more of that than positive. So I figured I'd make this video to kind of blur the lines and give my outlook on it without giving too many spoilers away, because I know it's still opening week and a lot of people hadn't seen it yet. So more than likely we'll do a full review of it on just some of the takeaways that I've seen from the video or from the movie. I'll do that at a later date, just give people a little bit more of an opportunity to actually go out to the theaters and see it if they choose to see it. But yeah, I've just seen so much negative content on it, and that's one thing I can't stand, is I can't stand when somebody operates under a dogmatic point of view, which, it's like you have to believe what I believe. I think it's bad, so you should think it's bad. I don't recommend it, so you shouldn't recommend it. I feel like people need to have their own opinions, and, one of the ways to do that is to actually go into this, let your imagination take over, and I think that's what the purpose of this film was. I don't think it was supposed to be just a clear-cut, dry interpretation of what disclosure day is or how they may perceive it. I think that's left up to you and how you kind of feel, what you would think that full disclosure day would be. Now, granted, a lot of the content creators that I've seen their review or their outlook on the movie are actually people that actually are involved with the UFO community, and those are the people that I follow, and so they kind of had the same outlook that I did. That's kind of what I was expecting, and the ones that didn't like it, for the most part, I've kind of gone through their video history log, and I've never seen them make any other videos about UFOs, so I wouldn't expect to actually get the knowledge or the feedback that I was looking for from a person like that just might not have understood what this movie was geared to, or the people that it was geared toward, or the topic at hand that it was about. There's so much I want to say about it, but I have to kind of tread lightly, because everything that I want to say about it could be perceived as a spoiler. As I stated before, that I will actually save that for the other video that I do. But if you're interested in the extraterrestrial topic, public disclosure, government cover-ups, it's definitely worth a watch. It's not the worst money or time I've spent in a movie theater by far. I'm not stating that you need to be an expert on the matter. Your TV just stays locked on ancient aliens or anything like that. But, in that same facet, I will say it does help. If you're familiar with a lot of the cases and a lot of videos that they're showing in the movie, it does help. If that stuff is familiar to you, or if you've seen it or read it somewhere before, it makes a little bit more sense. It had your suspense, your symbolism, had just enough action, had tense moments, drama, and the callbacks to the cases that I've either researched or read up on that I remember. It was pretty cool to see someone else's interpretation on that, and the government cover up, and how people just might actually react to full disclosure. But shit, the way that some people have reacted to this movie, it's no wonder the extraterrestrials are choosing to just sit this one out. I'm just not sure what people were expecting from this movie. I don't know if they were just expecting some clean-cut, dried explanation about disclosure. I think that was left up to your own imagination or your own interpretation on how you feel about it, but it pretty much had everything I expected to see out of it. As I stated, it's a movie, and when it comes to films and shows like this, I have to ask myself 3 questions. 1, was I entertained? Yes, I was. 2, was it worth my money? Yes, it was. 3, did it open up the topic of discussion for you to actually rethink some of those ideas or some of those, cases that you had and be like, hey, I never thought about it like that. I didn't consider that, or, that makes sense. So, it checked off all those boxes for me. And what's sad to say is I actually really expected the reaction of some other people. Anytime someone or something disturbs someone's sheepish, regular, scheduled, programmed mindset, they tend to lose their damn mind and go off on a tangent. So I was really expecting it, because it might have been a little bit more uncomfortable for some people, and it could have been familiar territory for other people. But when you start throwing in stuff like politics and religious outlooks and humanity and everything like that, and empathy, everybody has their own opinions to that, which is fine. I will be making another video about this. I just want to give people a little bit more time to actually go out and see the film if they choose to, and if you don't, that's fine as well. I'm no way, shape, or form on their payroll, but I just wanted to add a little bit of a positive light to it, because actually all I'm seeing is a lot of negative comments. But yeah, once people see it, I definitely will do my breakdown, because apparently, I didn't like everything about the movie. I felt that there were a lot of open-ended plots, a lot of questions that I felt that they didn't answer, and there were some instances that I thought that he would kind of touch on too right off the bat. The Virginia case, where really popular about the crash retrieval over in Virginia, Brazil, where the townsfolk and the military all encountered the extraterrestrial being, and also the Zimbabwe incident where I think it was 60 school children all on the playground in a schoolyard actually saw and were interviewed and documented the same, seeing the same thing and telepathically being communicated with. I figured that was low-hanging fruit, so I would have to see it again, but I'm not sure that he touched on that. But all the callbacks to the Roswell incident, this stuff is in the trailer, so it's not spoiler activity. But the Roswell incident, the Phoenix Lights, the Nimitz program, Tic Tac, and all that. So yeah, that was all in it, and it was cool to see like a prolonged video shot of that, from what you were actually showing on the news or on the internet. So it was pretty cool to see that. But as I stated before, I thought it was a great movie. I'm not saying that you should go rush out to see it, and I'm definitely not white knighting for it. I'm just stating the fact, in my opinion, was it was a good movie. It's definitely not deserving of all the negativity that it's getting. I get it, everybody has their own opinion and you're entitled to it. A lot of people like stuff that people don't like. I see it every day in the gaming community. There's games and stuff that people like that other people don't like, and that's cool. I felt like I just needed to, give a different outlook on it. So if you like content like this is actually in my wheelhouse. I love UFO topics. I love that whole community and researching extraterrestrials and shit. I just love space. Subscribe, if you would, subscribe to the channel. Drop a like here if you liked it. If you didn't like it, drop a dislike. I will be back in the future with a new one or with another one on the actual breakdown of it. With that being said, I am Yasuke. We are Ronin. Expect us. Until the next one.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. We out here.